Yeah, no, I just explained why. We're not going to play political games with this. We've all been very clear and transparent. The House Rules Resolution sets a good standard and requires all credible evidence to be released, and that's exactly where the White House is. There's no, as I've said many times over the last, as I've said many times, there's no daylight between the White House and the House. You have to allow the legislation to ripen, and you also have to allow the administration the space to do what it is doing. The president has said clearly, and he has now ordered his DOJ to do what it is we've all needed DOJ to do for years now, and that is to get everything released. So they're in the process of that. There's no purpose for Congress to push an administration to do something that they're already doing.
Even after House Speaker Johnson said there would be no more House votes until after the August recess, a bipartisan congressional panel approved a subpoena for the DOJ to release the Epstein files.
Despite the House Speaker saying no votes until September, as John was just talking about, the House Oversight Committee went and voted. A subcommittee now moving forward to subpoena the Justice Department for all of its records in the Epstein case file. That would go far beyond just the files presented to the grand jury. And that's after the Oversight Committee already this week moved to subpoena Epstein's longtime associate, as they were just discussing, Ghislaine Maxwell, for a deposition.
And this comes on the heels of convicted Epstein associate Ghislaine Maxwell, who is currently in prison, meeting with the Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche. But before we go on, let's hear more about the subpoena.
This is all playing out in the backdrop that the House Rules Committee had essentially been immobilized by this issue. That meant that they couldn't vote on several bills that they had planned for this week. Then Speaker Johnson made clear to his members that they needed to give the president additional time. And yet, Democrats continued to push this issue in these committee hearings. And where this all played out yesterday was after this House vote, the final vote of this summer session before they go on August recess. There are 3 Republicans who joined Democrats in agreeing to moving forward with a subpoena. Now, the subpoena still has to be signed by the chairman of the committee, James Comer, but I want to walk through exactly what the subpoena does. It calls for the release of the Epstein files with victims' names redacted. And we should note that Republicans and Democrats worked behind the scenes to try to make sure that this was something some of these Republicans were willing to vote for.
The House Oversight Committee is Republican-led, but the motion came from Democratic Representative Summer Lee. It passed 8-2, with Republicans Nancy Mace, Scott Perry, and Brian Jack voting with the Democrats on the issue. Now, according to House Oversight Chair James Comer, the subpoena must be issued. And speaking to that, here is Representative Robert Garcia speaking to CNN.
Chairman Comer, from what we understand, is going to be compelled to follow exactly what we put forward as a motion to release these files. And so the Department of Justice has to release these files to the committee. And so the sooner that Chairman Comer signs and get the subpoena out the door, the faster that we can actually get these files and review them, really on behalf of the American public. We want the truth. What is Donald Trump hiding? What is Pam Bondi hiding? Why this enormous reversal from being so committed to releasing these files to where we are today? And I think it's really important that people know when folks are out in the community, back home in their districts, this is interesting to the American public. They're asking us questions. And so this gets to the heart, I think, of people feeling betrayed by Donald Trump.
When I was looking into this story, I was Googling around, grabbing a few different articles, and most of the headlines looked very similar to one another. They all said something about the House voting to subpoena the DOJ for the Epstein files, but the headline from Fox News was notably very different. It said, House panel directs chairman to subpoena Bill and Hillary Clinton in Epstein probe. And while that is part of the story, it's really not the focus of it. What the MAGA right still does not seem to understand is that the left isn't just going after Trump because we just don't like him for no reason. First of all, we have plenty of reasons to not like him, but that aside, we are just not as idolatrous as MAGA about anyone. Even when Biden was president, we didn't go around wearing Biden hats all day. If the Clintons are implicated in the Epstein files, which they might be, I don't know, then so be it. I doubt that you're going to hear much from the left trying to defend whatever comes out or trying to make these roundabout excuses for the Clintons and their associates association with Epstein. We're all flawed in our principled stances, right? None of us are perfectly principled all of the time. We're all prone to blind spots. We all want to love the people that we already love, or maybe love is kind of a strong word. We all want to believe that the people that we believe are good and respectable are those things. And I'm not just talking about the Clintons right now. I don't think anyone feels that strongly about the Clintons. I'm just speaking generally here about our political or celebrity heroes. Because if it turns out that they are not just fallible, but wholly rotten, then that is something that we all just need to deal with, right? You can't just defend these people because we can't accept who they are or what they've done. And just a reminder, we don't know these people. We don't know what their lives are or what they're up to. We're not there, and they don't care about any of us any more than they need our support. MAGA is so loyal to Trump because they don't understand that last part. He's somehow convinced them that he does really genuinely care about them, that he's not only ever just looking out for himself, that he's not a member of the New York or Hollywood elite that he so often disparages. Trump has been trying to shift the public's gaze away from him and his relationship to Epstein to other people who also have had relationships with Epstein, like the Clintons and also the president of Harvard. Meanwhile, Todd Blanche is meeting with Ghislaine Maxwell, presumably striking some sort of deal where Ghislaine will say only what she is told to say in exchange for perhaps a pardon. Speaker Johnson is already disparaging Maxwell in the press, discrediting her, trying to get ahead of things, suggesting that even if she does come out and reveal some scandalous detail pertaining to Trump or whoever, can we really trust anything she has to say? She is, after all, a convicted criminal who has done horrible things to people. The same can be said for Trump, by the way, but Johnson doesn't mention that. As it stands, the subpoena needs to be issued, but there is no timeline as to when that will happen. People are also skeptical that even with the release, nothing will change, and that's a possibility, but at least we need to try, right? Like, we need to at least see what the government, specifically Trump, is trying so hard to keep hidden from us. And we need to give Trump supporters a chance to see who he really is. You know, maybe just in case it changes things. Just the fact that he's refusing to release the files has already done a world of damage to his MAGA base, but they really don't seem to know how to deal with the fact that his name has been mentioned in the files multiple times. To be clear, being mentioned in the files does not necessarily mean that you did anything wrong. Maybe some people were just in the wrong place at the wrong time, I don't know. But Trump was made aware of his mentions months ago, and it's very clear that he doesn't want the world to see them. All right, that's it for me. If you got anything out of this, please like the video and subscribe to the channel for more. Thanks.
Hello everybody, David Schuster here. Thanks for watching. If you found this reporting and commentary valuable, do us a favor and tap the like button. For more content like this, hit the subscribe button and ring the bell. That way you'll be notified on your YouTube homepage when we drop a new video. If you are tired of corporate spin and want honest, people-focused news, click the join button below and be part of the fight for a better future. We wouldn't be here without your support. Stay informed, stay engaged, and thanks again for joining us.